Boxing Truth here. Wanted to talk about Miguel Cotto, and I want to talk a little bit about his career, how people look at his career overall, almost like how many in the media consider him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I, for one, I think his career has been a little overrated. I mean, when I look at his resume and as a first ballot Hall of Famer, I really have to think about it because his career overall, when he was coming up, I liked Miguel Cotto as a fighter. I liked the way he fought, put on entertaining fights, went to the body, was aggressive, came forward. I liked his fighting style, but then his career was carefully guided by Top Rank. They matched him with guys that really couldn't really threaten him, like Carlos Maza, smaller guys like Victoriano Sosa. You know, they tested him out against Lemore Endo. He gassed in that fight. It was actually a much tougher than expected fight. He started off well, but then gassed late, and then Endo really tested him. Very close fight. One judge scored it 115, 113. And then he won his first belt against Kelson Pinto, a vacant title. Limited fighter. Guy didn't do shit afterwards. Was a nobody. He won a vacant title and started taking on the most beatable opponents at 140, like Randall Bailey. Few losses coming into that fight. He fought DeMarcus Corley in a good fight in his hometown. In Puerto Rico. And he almost got knocked out in that fight. And the crazy thing about it was Cotto outweighed him by like 20 pounds on fight night. And he almost got knocked out by DeMarcus Corley, who was pretty much a blown up lightweight coming into the ring against Cotto. Got a big scare, almost got knocked out. Came back and he got a hometown stoppage. The fight was prematurely stopped. Unfortunate, Corley was still in that fight. Would have been interesting to see what would have happened had Corley been given a chance to go on. Then, I don't know, Cotto's his resume is lacking. Very carefully selected opponents. Muhammad Abdullayev, Jijalaga Branco, guys that can't punch. Paulie Malignaggi. Then he won another vacant belt at welterweight against Carlos Quintana, destroyed him. Quintana was a good fighter. Solid opponent. But not the most. He wasn't really the best guy. Not one of the best welterweights out there at the time. Then he took on more safe fights. Octay Orcal can't punch. He took on Zab Judah. Zab Judah hadn't won a fight in over 2 years coming into that fight. And I guess, you have to ask yourself, what is Miguel Cotto's best win? Seriously, Shane Mosley is his best win. A 36-year-old Shane Mosley is his best win. Mosley was still a good fighter at that time, but was past his best. Hadn't won a big fight in years. He knocked out a shot Vargas. That was about it, And then Alfonso Gomez. And then he finally fights Margarito. Was one of his best performances. People can say whatever they want. Did Margarito cheat? Did he have some stuff in his raps? No one really knows. There was no evidence of him cheating in that first fight. It was a good performance by Cotto. He really showed his boxing ability in that fight. He wilted under Margarito's pressure and got beaten down and submitted by Margarito, and it was a great win from Margarito. That loss really damaged Cotto. He hasn't really looked the same since that fight. A questionable win against Clottey. Got destroyed by Manny Pacquiao. then won a title against Yuri Foreman in '54. A one-legged fighter, one of the safest opponents the safest champion at '54. He took him 12 rounds to stop an old over the hill Mayorga who had been knocked out twice prior to that fight. Had another tough fight with Margarito in the rematch. I mean, Margarito was coming on in that fight. They ended up stopping that fight. His eye was all messed up coming into that fight. That fight really shouldn't have happened. Margarito's eye wasn't fit for combat, but it's a lot of money in that fight, a lot of money on the line. They couldn't just cancel it. But Margarito was coming on, and they ended up stopping the fight. I would have liked to have seen those last 3 rounds. I'll never forget. I was watching it at home, and I remember Margarito coming on strong in the 9th round, and who knows what would have happened had he had a chance to get those last 3 rounds. Lost to Floyd, got schooled by Trout, took on a faded and French contender in Rodriguez. At least he did what he was supposed to do, knocked him out. And his best win is a Maravilla. I mean, Sergio Martinez for the middleweight title. The only problem is Martinez was about coming off knee surgery, had a year layoff going into the fight. I heard rumors that he didn't even spar for that training camp because he was so concerned that he would get injured. And it showed in the fight. The first hard punch he got hit with, he got dropped. His legs weren't there. All types of rumors that his legs was out of it. So, the win's questionable. Was it Maravilla? A lot of people will say no, it wasn't. He knocked out a Drain Gill and then lost a clear decision to Alvarez, but didn't get knocked out. So, I don't know. I mean, I really have to think about first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, when you add up his resume, who's the best fighter he beat? A one-legged Maravilla or a 36-year-old Shane Mosley? Or a one-eyed Margarito? So, you have to, what's his best win? You guys let me know. And he won 3 vacant titles. He never unified. He never unified the titles, was never undisputed. I mean, he fought the safest belt holders in most divisions or took on vacant belts. It was gifted belts. Like Kelson Pinto, that was a gift. Top Rank gave him that belt. So, I don't know, the resume is not as strong when you really research it and do the overall body of work into it. I mean, the guy's nowhere near the level of Felix Trinidad. He's not. I mean, head to head, prime for prime, Trinidad would trash Miguel Cotto. No doubts about it. I mean, Trinidad's career was badass. He unified belts, 15 defenses of his IBF welterweight title, moved up, beat badasses like for Vargas, David Reed, took their belts, moved up divisions and won belts. Tried to become undisputed against Hopkins. And look what Hopkins did after that fight. I mean, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, so I don't know. You compare the careers, and there's no doubt Chito Trinidad had the way better career, and he's regarded as the better fighter, and he's more beloved. Miguel Cotto, as his career progressed, he changed, became a straight up diva, not really well liked, not even among his own countrymen. And it is what it is. But I don't know, a lot of people to me overrate his career. I mean, he's a good fighter, no doubt, good fighter. But first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't know, I have to really think about that. Anyways, this is Boxing Truth. I'm out.